Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G, and welcome to Christmas break, as I am currently at my parents' house. Let's get back to it with the Gospel. Today is Sunday, December 13th, and it is the third Sunday of Advent, so we are halfway to Christmas in the Advent season and the season of preparation. And today's feast day is also the feast day of Saint Lucy. She is a virgin and martyr of the church, and she is one of the 8 women saints who are mentioned in the canon of the Catholic Mass. So pay attention to that if you're Catholic. Next time the priest is saying the canon and listing all the saints, Saint Lucy's in there. But she is the patron saint of the blind, and as well as a few other things, but also salesmen for those who are in sales. And today's gospel is from John chapter 1, verses 6 through 8, and verses 19 through 28. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen. A man named John was sent from God. He came for testimony, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to testify to the light. And this is the testimony of John. When the Jews from Jerusalem sent priests and Levites to him to ask him, "Who are you?" he admitted and did not deny it, but admitted, "I am not the Messiah." So they asked him, "Well, what are you then? Are you Elijah?" And he said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." So they said to him, "Who are you? So we can give an answer to those who sent us. What do you have to say for yourself?" He said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the desert, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as Isaiah the prophet said." Some Pharisees were also sent. They asked him, "Why then do you baptize if you are not the Messiah or Elijah or the prophet?" John answered them, "I baptize with water, but there is one among you whom you do not recognize, the one who is coming after me, whose sandal strap I am not worthy to untie." This happened in Bethany across the Jordan where John was baptizing. Okay, so we've got a gospel of preparation of Advent, again, of talking about John the Baptist in John, the evangelist gospel, 2 different Johns. But, as we see, this is the very beginning of chapter 1. And notice how instantly John is talking about John the Baptist, who was sent in preparation to prepare for Jesus, just as Jesus, so John was sent on a divine mission, just like Jesus was sent on a divine mission. And notice how the term testimony, so he came for testimony, and we have to think about, what does the term testimony typically refer to? A testimony of, on trial is virtually what we think of. You give a testimony in the courts. And that's what the theme that John is using, John the evangelist here, the writer of this gospel, is using, as it's portraying Jesus' life of ministry as a trial in regard to all those who are attacking him and who will go against him his entire life, especially those 3 years of ministry that he does before he's put to death on a cross. So John's talking about that. John the Baptist is preparing the way for that. So the Jews that they're talking about here in Scripture doesn't so much refer to as the Jewish people specifically, but it's to the hostile authorities of those who are constantly refusing to believe in Jesus and who will always refuse to believe in Jesus and the truth of the church. So they always ask, all these, the Jews, the Pharisees, you see that they refer to them as the Pharisees and the Israelites and whoever else. But they're always, they're asking him if he's Moses or if he's a prophet, yada, yada, yada. And he keeps saying no. He's, he comes to prepare, and he's not a prophet. He's not Elijah. He's just doing the will of the Lord, of God. Although there is a connection, there is a parallel between, Moses preparing the way for the prophet Elijah and John the Baptist preparing the way for Jesus. There is some wisdom in Scripture of the parallels from the Old Testament to the New, but that's not really what this gospel is talking about. But then he talks about, as we continue on, we go through the end, of baptizing, John, a man, having the power to baptize and, free people from original sin and purify them. And even though John is given that divine power to do that through as an instrument, they ask about him, and John says, "There's somebody I can baptize with water, but there's somebody even I'm not even worthy to unstrap or strap his sandals or to untie them, and that's to come later, who is Jesus, who will baptize with the Spirit and bring the Spirit down," which happens at Pentecost, 50 days after Jesus rises from the dead, after Easter, or on Easter. So anyway, that's what's happening today. A lot of stuff is going on today. And just to tie it into St. Lucy, as I go back to the first part, it says, "He was not the light, but came to testify to the light." So, we always hear that Christ is the light, because he brings, he eliminates the darkness that we all live in. But interesting enough, Lucy, so Luc, refers to lux, which lux in Latin equates to light, which I thought was quite interesting. So kind of trying to tie in the saints with the gospel. But maybe I'm forcing that, who knows. But I think it's pretty cool. And if you didn't, now you know that the prefix lux in Latin means light. Anyway, let's get to a challenge as I continue to ramble today. The challenge is, as John the Baptist was on a mission that he couldn't even see because, he was beheaded right before Jesus took on his ministry. But how does your current life's mission demonstrate true Christian faith in preparation for heaven? Because that's the ultimate goal for all of us, for all Christians. And then as you reflect on that, be happy and be fulfilled and be at peace with your response. Because I think a lot of people are way too hard on themselves and they don't think they're doing enough, and they don't recognize the good that they do. So make sure that you recognize and appreciate the fact that you're doing great work with whatever you're currently doing in your life. Because a lot of us can see the progress in other people, but we can't see the progress that we're making inside of ourselves. And we're typically our toughest critic. So we need to quit doing that. So have a great third Sunday of Advent. God bless and keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, amen.